Morning, Bandana Gramma here. And I'm back outside in the yard at it again. It's chilly. It's like 49 degrees and it's overcast, but it's not raining yet. It may. The sky is completely gray and cloudy. So I'm going to show you what I ended up doing yesterday. The yard is a mess, but little by little every day I'm going to get it back. So I'm out here again, plugging away, doing a little bit more. I think this morning I'm going to cut some of the English ivy off the fence and clean up some more leaves around the yard and show you what I did yesterday. So, I don't know if anybody is up to say hello this morning or not. And I'm also a little worried. Oh, there's Sarah saying hello and Deb saying hello. Good morning. Um, I'm not sure what's going to happen as I take the camera away from the Wi Fi of the house to go out there. I may lose the signal entirely. Hello, Elizabeth B. Lady. I recognize you under your own name, but not under your husband's name. I still haven't gotten that in my mind yet. Brenda, good morning. I was watching your video from yesterday. I wanted to cut some of that up because there was some real, I was going to speed up the gardening parts, but they won't let me get back into it to do that. So I'm a little annoyed. I didn't want it so slow. Uh, you are so sweet. Love watching you. Oh, Sarah, thank you. Such nice compliments you people give me. I love the shawl on Facebook. So pretty looking for your Etsy store. All right, I haven't posted it on Etsy yet because I was going to do it last night, but in order to post it, you have to put in all the details like the shipping, and I'm looking yet to find the best way to ship it so we don't have to pay more money for shipping than necessary. So I'm trying to find what kind of a container I can put it in that it will fit, a little squished maybe, but at least save dollars on the shipping. So when I get that figured out, then I'll post it up on my Etsy store. But thank you. I don't have Facebook, so I watch you on YouTube. Okay, Sarah. Okay, let's see. Wow, you have plants growing already. Yeah, I've got some. We're in Zone 7, Maryland. Love your braids. That's the easiest thing to do when I get out in the yard, is stick it in braids. All right, I think. So glad to catch you live, Sarah said. Okay, I'm going to show you what I ended up doing yesterday after I got off the live stream. Hello, Allie. Will you will you have items in your store way ahead of me? Oh, you mean on the uh, Etsy store? Hello and good morning from JD. Hi, JD. Okay, everybody's saying good morning to each other. That's great. All right, I'm gonna walk away from the house and I'm gonna show you what I did yesterday. If I lose the signal, I lose the signal. I never know what's going to happen with this internet here. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's the pits. So I'm going to lower this little thingy here so it's a little more stable as I carry it. And I'm going to turn the camera around so I can see what you're looking at, so I know you're getting the picture. All right, so yesterday I started weeding, and I started down here at this end of my garden where my first bed is, and those are all strawberries in there. They're just all come back on their own strawberries. This is actually my strawberry bed, and you can see some of them coming back here. Those are all volunteers over there. So those were my strawberry beds, and I cleaned all these out, these beds, and I cleaned both sides of this fence out, raking and pulling all the weeds. And I pulled all the weeds in my onion bed. These are all coming back from last year. And here's collards that are going to seed. They wintered over, now they're going to seed. And I weeded all this. I left a few things, like there are some violets there, and I wanted to save those. If I get enough of them, I can make a violet salve, and I was going to try that. So this is my tunnels, my cattle panel tunnels that I like to grow my squash over, or beans, or something that climbs. So I pulled all this out. There's some more violets I left. I pulled all this out. Back there are raspberries. I pulled all these out. So I must have pulled out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beds. I cleaned up 10 beds yesterday. And up here shows what it looked like before I started. See that mess there? That's what the rest of it looked like before I cleaned it out. So this is my peach tree, and you can see the blossoms I had are fading now. But I had plenty of blossoms on this peach tree. So I'm hoping for peaches. And then I've got all this mess of me pulling out brambles and brush. And I'm going to have to, down here is a big pile of leaves I'm still raking up. Over there's a big pile of leaves and brush. So all that's got to be tended to. And I still have to tackle all the gardens up here. And here's my Asian pear in bloom, looking beautiful. Look at all those blooms on my Asian pear. Isn't it gorgeous? I love that. So, and this one back here, let's see, this is a nectarine, and those blossoms are fading now. And this is a bubblegum plum, and it's going to full bloom, and they're just starting to fade a little bit. And back here, I had showed you the other day my Granny Smith that wasn't doing much. Well, now it's got leaves on it. This is my Granny Smith apple I showed you the other day that barely showed any green at all, just a couple of buds. Oh, and look at it. You're discovering this with me. I have blossoms on my Granny Smith. That's the first time I got blossoms on my Granny Smith, this little bitty tree. So we'll see what that does this year. But I've got so much work to do in this yard. It's a mess. But I'm going at it. And the next thing I'm going to do, see all this English ivy on the fence? I'm going to cut the English ivy off the fence. So let me check your comments. I'll turn you back around here. Okay, let's see if I can read this. Oh, the birds are wonderful here. Don't they sound great? It's so nice to be out here, even though the weather's not terrific. Let me get back to the comments where I left off. Look at the little violets. I love violets. Busy lady, you got a lot done. Yeah, if you were here yesterday, you saw I'd only gotten a couple beds done down there, but I spent another good while and I finished up to this far. All right. Violet jelly, that would be interesting. I just don't know if I have enough here. I'll have to really look around the whole property here and see how many I can find. Hope you get a lot of peaches. Yeah, I had a lot coming last year until the squirrels got them. But this year, I got a plan. And I mentioned yesterday, I'm getting this gizmo. It's a water shooter, and it's motion detected. So it'll go and point toward the motion and shoot a spray of water out there. It's supposed to scare the deer and the critters away. So we'll see if that works. All right, it says your trees look amazing. What's your secret? Well, I planted them 3 or 4 years ago as little 4 or 5 foot sticks, and I do have that video up of me opening the box from Stark Brothers and pulling the trees out, so you can find that video. If I remember, I'll try to attach it to this one. And all I use is compost. I make my own compost, and I just load them up with compost several times a year. I dig down all around the roots, so the graft where they're all dwarf trees, so they have a grafted root. And I dig down to expose that grafted root because you're not supposed to bury that. Over the winter, it gets buried and I have to dig it up again. And then I just load it up with compost. All right. Love seeing all the blooms. It's still cold here in Indiana, waiting for spring. Dandelion jelly. Yeah, I've never tried that. I bet it's good because you add sugar to something, it's good. But dandelions, you just wonder how good could that taste. All right, let me see if I missed anybody before I get a chop in here. Chance of snow this evening, says Sarah. Dandelion jelly tastes a lot like light honey. Wild violet jelly is yummy, but not sure how to describe it. Sounds like the water shooter will work. I hope so. Can't wait to see if the water shooter works. We have tons here. All won't stay out of the bird feeders. Yep. I wonder if birds are big enough to trigger it. I don't want to shoot the birds. All right. Good morning, everybody. All right. I'm going to start working on this. I'll probably be 5 minutes or so doing that. And, oh, I dropped my glove. And then I'll come back on and see who's here chatting. So I'm turning the camera back around. And I'm climbing through the raspberry bushes to get at my fence. Now this is the fence down there that got covered in poison ivy every year. And I hate it, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Last year, I put black plastic over 2 panels of this fence to cover it, just so I wouldn't rub up against it when I was gardening. And that did fine, but it sure didn't look nice. So I tried all the vinegar remedies and all that. That doesn't work. Not for here. So, not sure what to do about poison ivy. Comes back every year. This stuff is annoying, this English ivy, but it doesn't, at least you don't get a rash from it. And our family is very, very allergic to poison ivy. Now this fence here, I'm hoping to grow beans on, but I got to clear out around it and behind it. Oh, these things are hanging on. All right, let me see if I can get past these raspberry bushes. Vines, canes. really grab onto the fence. These little roots. After I do this, I'll show you what flowers I got blooming. Maybe take you out front too where my herbs are. Okay, I'm going to come around and see what actually you're focused on. I might be out of your range. Okay, made some progress. Hey, Grizz. Whew. Hope you're all chatting amongst yourselves while I'm doing my thing here. Let me see what the comments say. I'll turn the camera around again, even though you're going to be looking at my nose probably as I get close enough. With the light on this screen, it's difficult to see the comments. Whew. Everybody's saying good morning to each other. That's wonderful. Say good morning. Chat among yourselves. Subscribe to each other's channels. Okay, I think I'm back up to where I left off. Everybody's saying good morning. And Karen's dying to get working in the garden. I know. Isn't that pull of spring so strong? We had a lot of rain here and cold weather and some snow. Finally, we can get out here. in more temperate Maryland. All right, I love working outside too. Planted marigolds yesterday. Snake's not fond of marigolds or lemongrass. And I missed something because Rocky Brook says I forgot to open it up on a 70 day. I don't know what that's talking about. I missed something. Whew. Love the birds chirping. Yeah, we've got a lot of nice birds here. I love sitting out. I have actually fallen asleep in a lawn chair just sitting out. Oh, I feel a little sun coming. Let's see. Did you plant from seeds or plants? Oh, Bliss, she's talking to, I think. Shalom from De Jesus. Uh, PNC, good morning to PNC. Buddhist monks plant a lot of lemongrass in Asia. How are things, De Jesus, at your household? I understand you were sick. Everybody saying hello to Grizz. I planted lemongrass, will freeze. Okay, I'm going to take you around and show you the few things that are blooming in my flowers. It's early yet, but some of those spring flowers are just enough to encourage you to keep going and be thankful that you have them. Let me hang my cutters here. We are doing very well. Jose and I got food poisoning from an order of steamed vegetable. Of all things, yeah, steamed vegetables. My goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. Love your yard, Bandana. Well, thank you. I love what I can do with it. Right now, it's not very attractive, but yeah, I love the potential of it. Oh, Christy's very sick with the flu. I'm so sorry, Christy. Everybody pray for Christy to feel better. Thank you for all your prayers. I did pray for you guys. Let's see. Allie, I named one of my roosters Scott King. You will laugh. Okay. All right. I'm going to pick you all up. And I think first thing I'm going to show you is where I put in 2 comfrey plants 2 years ago. And I want to show you what's happened since. And I'm going to turn the camera around. All right. Here's where I've got. These are raspberries all coming up. I've got raspberries. I need to get them attached to the fence and dig some up and move them because they're encroaching my garden beds where I put my vegetables. And I want them all against the fence. So I need to move them. So here we go up to the back corner. See, I've got some, my poor little statuaries here. Here's my little garden gnome. He isn't going to stand up too well yet. So, and my garden angel. I gotta get those arranged again. And here's my other garden angel. She actually has wings. I gotta find where her wings went. Oh, and she held it's too bad. She held a ball that lit up at night and it's gone. That's what I get for leaving it out all winter. Okay, see this here? This is comfrey. Pretty soon it will be covered in flowers. And all this comfrey was planted 2 years ago, just 2 plants. So I'm happy to have it here, but don't ever plant it where you want to grow flowers and stuff because it will totally take over and crowd everything out. And the roots go very deep. And if you leave even a speck of a root, it will grow back. Now it's very beneficial. Comfrey is known as knit bone because it's said that it will speed up the metabolism and cellular activity in the body. So when people in the olden days had sprains or broken bones, they would make a poultice or just wrap damp leaves around the affected area, and it was supposed to make healing happen much faster. I'm not making any claims, I'm just telling you the stories of what I've heard and why people like it so much. I've also heard of comfrey salve being made, and I actually want to do that with my comfrey. Some people will take it internally, but that's not recommended. It's mostly an external type of remedy, old folk remedy. And it is fantastic for your plants, like to make compost or compost tea out of. If you add it to your compost pile, it'll supercharge it. And the roots go deep, which means they pull up the minerals and good nutrients that are deep in the soil and bring them up to the leaves. So that when you cut and chop and drop your leaves around fruit trees and like, it really helps. So that's the story of what I know as much about comfrey. And there it is. And the little flowers that come out on it are beautiful. This is a very sad looking rosemary. Wait a minute, not rosemary, lavender. This is the lavender. And you know, it wintered over. It's going to come back, but right now it's pretty sad looking. So that's the lavender. I'm going to take you up to the porch now so I can show you my bleeding heart that's coming out. Let me wind my way back through my trees here. And there's all the brush I've been raking up. I got to get rid of. I need to empty my compost bins of the finished compost so I can put all this stuff in them. All right, again, yard needs a lot of work, but here's a little bright spot. My bleeding hearts are coming out. Aren't they pretty? These haven't actually opened all the way yet, but these have. Right here. These are opening. And here's a good example of some that have just opened and other ones, the small ones, have not yet. I love bleeding hearts. They're one of the first things to come out in the spring. And these are hydrangeas. They're just starting to green out. They will have big, huge balls of blue, purple, and pink hydrangeas on them. And I've got 3 bushes here by the porch. 1, 2, and 3. So a lot of work to be done out here, but I'm happy to have these few flowers. Now, the other thing I'm doing is, for those who don't know, this is a circular arrangement of fruit trees around our seeding area right here. And I put these wires up, and I'll be adding more, and I'm training the branches along the wires so that when they're older and turn hard, we could take the wires down and we'll have a pickable living fence, an espaliered fence, all the way around our seeding area. So that's my goal. And these are young trees yet, but you can see over there with the Asian pear, I'm training that, and a plum, and an apricot, all to grow along this fence, and we'll have a pickable living fence if all goes to plan. So yeah, years to come will tell if that was a success or not, but so far so good. I need to trim these back a lot because I don't want them to get unmanageable, so I'm going to cut them back. And you can see my apple blossoms starting on my Gala apple here. I'm just starting to get apple blossoms forming on that, so that's exciting. I think what I'll do is check the comments now, and then I'm going to try to walk out front to show you the little bit I've got going out there with my herb garden. Hydrangeas actually like the shade here. They love the shade. That's why I put them there. Okay. Bleeding hearts? Yeah, bleeding hearts. Yeah, the vinegar solution didn't do anything for my poison ivy. Oh, it's crazy days. Hello, Wanda. Glad to have you here, honey. Salt kills, cheap salt. Yeah, that's the problem. They're so close to my good plants. I don't want to put anything there that will, run off with water and rain and hurt my good plants. Oh, I just popped in here this morning and asked for rooted cuttings of comfrey or the seeds. I can send you some if I can get myself to get them packaged up for you. I've got plenty now because they grow like gangbusters. Yeah, comfrey's good to be planted around trees. And they're good to cut and drop around trees because the leaves are full of nutrients. Yep, I need to learn to get rid of poison ivy with something that won't hurt my other plants because it's right next to them and I can't be using stuff that's going to run off and kill my plants. So, last year, the best solution I came up with was draping black plastic over both sides of the fence where it was growing and just suffocated and burned it out with the heat under the black plastic. And it'll come back this year, I think. But at least I wasn't running into it and catching poison ivy because it was covered. All right, I'm going back down to see if there's any other comments I missed. Let me see if I can get this out of my eyes. There, that's better. All right, if I miss a comment you want me to see, you can repost it. I guess beautiful, gentle pink, bleeding hearts. I love bleeding hearts. Eating my vegan brunch. Must say that all these vegan black bean chipotle burgers are the bomb. That's good. I have a vegan daughter. I am planting 30 sweet viburnum for a privacy fence. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Alrighty. I'm excited we got blueberry bushes last night. I've had blueberry bushes for 5 years and I've neglected them and they don't do much. So I need to pay attention to them and figure out what they need. Could be they're not getting enough sun where they are. And a joyful is looking for to get some apple trees. Yes, comfrey will take over everything. I've got some out front and I never should have planted it there because I'm constantly pulling it up. But like I just said, if you leave even a bit of the root in the ground, and they're long roots, hard to get, it's going to come back. I think chickens will eat comfrey. Bye, crazy days. Good to know about comfrey. I have a wonderful Cleveland flowering pear. I think I will lose it. I only use salt, vinegar, and soap water in the fall when the sap is going down to kill the roots, and it gives the solution 6 months to dissolve. Ain't hurt nothing yet. Okay, Gris. Is your soil on the sandy side there? Yes, it is. It is sandy here. I've been adding compost to it for years now, trying to build it up, but there's still plenty of sand there. And it's also a bit acidic. I need to test the soil, to see what it needs. I haven't done that, and that's like number one rule of gardening, and I have ignored it, and that's not a good thing. right. Try Epsom salts dissolved in water for your blueberries. All right, thank you. I have put Epsom salts like with my tomatoes and peppers, but I haven't done it with my blueberries. All right. We got some blueberry bushes. This is a wonderful group of people. I love our homesteading community, yes. And I know I have a couple wrenches in here anyway to keep it a good homesteading community here. Comfrey, excellent internally as a tea, topically as a medicine. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm not so sure about internally. I'm not convinced yet that's the safest thing to do, but I know there's controversy on that. I guess I'm just a little cautious. Good morning, Elena. Okay, I am going to take you out front. If I lose you, it's because I got too far from my Wi Fi. Huh, doctor suggested some comfy. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to turn the camera around. Oh, over here I've got boysenberry bushes. These are boysenberries. And this is goji berry. So we're coming out of my front yard. There's a beautiful magnolia over there that's just starting to lose its blossoms. Got some lovely, I think these are snowdrops on the ground here. In my front yard, I got some spring flowers starting. I got hydrangeas. I got tulips, daffodils, crocus. So my spring flowers are coming up. And on my porch in that pot, I have another Asian pear tree that's coming to bloom. I was supposed to put it in the ground last fall and I never did, so thankfully it lived through the winter and it's blooming. So, and out in my front gardens here, I've got a lot of different flowers. It needs weeding again. I got rose bushes out there. Got some more jonquils and daffodils. And some of my herbs are coming up. I have lamb's ear and lemon balm. And here's some of that comfrey that I said I planted out here and I shouldn't have, because even though I keep digging it up, it's like trying to take over. See it all that comfrey? Yeah, not so good. There's my rose bushes. This is a really nice rosemary that wintered over. I'm hoping it comes back. Here we got grape hyacinths coming all up. My rose bushes look like they're going to do well. And if you saw my Facebook page today, you saw me post a photo of my little tiny dogwood tree in bloom from last year. Well, you're going to get to see a before and after, because this is the before. This is my little dogwood tree. And it's not in bloom yet. It's just starting to get some leaves and some buds. But in another week or so, it should be loaded with beautiful pink dogwood flowers. And if you saw that picture, I took it from like here. See my front door? And yeah, it was a really pretty picture. But so back up there at the end of the yard by the fence, I have blackberry bushes and blueberry bushes. And I don't think the blueberries get enough sun against that our fence. And this tree right here is a crepe myrtle, and that turns a beautiful bright pink color when it gets its flower. Pretty. And oh yeah, over next to the car are my azaleas. I have bright pink azaleas and white azaleas that come up there. And this is a lilac. And last year was the first year it bloomed for me. It's just a little baby lilac. It's been here maybe 4 years. And it's showing signs that we're going to get lilacs this year. So I think with the pink dogwoods and the purple lilacs and the bright pink knockout roses here, it's going to look awful pretty. And down here I've got my creeping phlox. I love this stuff. Comes back every spring. Doesn't last long enough, but it sure looks pretty, and it's a nice bright splash of color in the early spring when it does come. So we're going to let that go. So a lot of work needs to be done out here, like in the backyard. But I think you can see the potential once everything is filled in and all my herbs are over here. I have tons of herbs that grow over here. And then I have mostly flowers over here. And this bush here that looks dead, it's going to come back. This is a hardy, what's the name of it? Hibiscus. And it gets these giant 10-inch flowers all over them. Like, it must get dozens and dozens on it. It's just gorgeous. I also have a tree peony over there between the rose bushes that comes back. So, yeah, needs work, but I get some nice stuff here. Some pretty flowers and herbs. All right, I'm going to turn it back around. Turn it back around. I'm going to try and turn it back. There we go. And I'm going to sit on my front porch and see what other comments you guys made. So let me bring you down here to me. So I can see what you're saying. Whew. There we go. I can't read them, they're too far away. Let me see if I can pull you closer. If I get close enough to read them, you're going to be looking up my nose. All right, let's see. You see all my crow's feet? No Graham sitting here showing you her crow's feet. All right. You would cut the rosemary back now. Okay, I will. Pear tree in a pot. I had no idea they would grow like that. I think I was lucky. Although where my daughter works, she works at a gardening place called Homestead Gardens. And they can have them in pots for a long time during the year because they sell them out of the pots and they seem to last. But this one lasted through the winter, so that was a good thing. I didn't map my garden. I'm skipping all around here, but I didn't map my garden out. I should, but I didn't. What don't you grow? I grow just about everything. When I grow my vegetables in the backyard, I don't grow okra, not a fan, but I grow carrots and beans and peas and cauliflower and cabbage and everything. I don't get a lot of everything, but I get some of everything because, you know, I only have so much room in my little suburban garden. But what I wanted to do with my channel was to encourage other people, senior ladies too. You know, I'm going to be 68 in June. And for people like me who think, you know, you can't do a whole lot. And I only have 9,000 square foot lot in suburbia here. I don't have a lot of room. And I didn't think I could do a whole lot here. But I saw the video about the Gervais family in Pasadena, California. And they had less land than me. And they I mean, he went crazy. His whole front yard, his whole driveway, his whole backyard, everything had trees and bushes and fruit and tons of vegetables. And he grew so much he could feed his family and sell to restaurants and made money selling off of his porch too. And that was a big inspiration to me because when we bought this house 30 years ago, I had said, well, this land is our land. This land is your land. And if I'm going to plant something, I should plant something that feeds our family. We had 7 kids. So when I put bushes in, I put blueberry bushes in. And when I planted flowers, at first I was planting just like nasturtiums and stuff you could eat. I did branch out and do other things just to make it pretty. And I rationalized they're pollinators. You know, the other flowers will draw pollinators. But I started turning my backyard into a vegetable garden. In fact, when we first came here, I put it in the front yard because the backyard had 11 junky trees back there that were shading it too much. Well, they've come down now and I can use my backyard. But I want to encourage other people who have a little bitty piece of land that they can do some homesteading. They can do something and get some enjoyment out of it. And now I can, and I dehydrate and freeze food, and I enjoy it and have a good time. I'm retired now, so I have the time. My kids are gone, and I'm having a ball doing this. And, you know, that's why I did the YouTube channel, because I didn't know anybody around here who got such a charge out of those things like I did. And I wanted to find community. So I started watching YouTube videos, and I wanted to share what I was doing, be it making mistakes or not doing it great, but I wanted to share it. And so I started my YouTube channel. And the catalyst for this was when all my kids moved out of the house, and I was telling my daughters, you know, I really miss having my girls around and my sons and my kids. And my daughter said to me, Mom, you need to get a dog. And I heard that and I thought, I don't think that's what I was looking for. So I got YouTube instead, and it's been great. I really love it. All right, so I've been blathering on here. Let's see what you all had to say. Oh, I can't read it. I love it when somebody's here to read the comments for me. I wish I could like stretch them out and make them bigger so I can read it. Right, no, I didn't map out on paper first. It looks so organized and super cute of soil space. Well, I thought it through in my head, but I didn't actually put it on paper. I thought about doing that a couple times. I wanted to get graph paper and make it inch, you know, like 1/4 inch per foot or something like that with graph paper. Hibiscus is my husband's favorite. So pretty. It is. It's gorgeous. And it does well here in Maryland. Alrighty. Yes, and would you please hit the like button below? Don't forget to do that. It really does help my channel. Are there ways to amend soil for blueberries? Well, I'm not the one to ask because I've been neglecting mine, but I know they like acid, so coffee grinds and grounds and things like that are good for them. Hello, Katie. Glad you made it here. You know what? When I do this, it's because I've got trifocals, and the very bottom is where I can see best on this little bitty print. That's my reading glasses. Oh, DeJesus family, you went to Gervais family land in 2009. I bet it was amazing. I was so sorry to hear he passed away. Was it last year or the year before? That was sudden and shocking, but so sad. I hope his kids are carrying on. I think they are. All right. And Jazz planted a blueberry bush in a pot and a grapevine. I've planted grapes out back. That's another thing I don't do well with. I've not done well with grapes. Simple food, simple life. Good morning, Robin. I didn't actually see your comment, but I see Bee Lady saying hi to you. There you are. I'll be 68 in June too. Really, Robin? We're the same age? How about that? June 25th is me. What date's yours? June 25th, 1950. That's when I was born. Does the caffeine perk the blueberries up? Well, they like the acid, I know that. Jerry's here. Oh, I see somebody saying hi to Jerry. Hello, my blind mama. Glad to have you here. I enjoyed your self made video you made the other day. You did really well. Okay. Gotta run, everyone. Who's saying that? A joyful. Bye, a joyful. A joyful home. I have tons of blueberries, blackberries, raspberry bushes on my farm in North Carolina. And an old timer there told me to put a heavy layer of sawdust underneath the bushes to expand out past the bush. Okay. I love this, says Roadside Dan. I don't know what he loves, but he loves it. Bandana Gramma. Yepper, let's hear it for the retired baby boomers who are now living life and having fun. Yep. Oh, looks like PNC left. Goodbye. Okay, the blueberries fall off the bush on the sawdust and then break down very quickly and become other bushes. Okay. Always a thumbs up, says Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, honey. I wonder if you can grow peonies up there. I cannot in Florida. I have a tree peony here, and it blooms once. It hasn't grown real big. It's only like, I don't know, 14 inches tall now, and I planted it 2 years ago. So it isn't thriving, but it does put out some nice flowers one time. Uh-oh, now the sun's getting in my eyes. Let's see if I'm going to be able to read this. Your birthday is the same day as my son's and 2 days before mine. June babies. We're leaving for Colorado. We're flying out to Colorado the day after my birthday on June 26th. We're going to meet up with Tara and Mike from Living on a Dime. And for anybody who's out in that area, around the Denver, Colorado area, we're having a meetup after I get there on Sunday, July 1st. Tara will have more information on her page and her videos. But we're going to be meeting up and having a get together with whatever YouTube channels can come and whatever subscribers would like to come and have a meetup and maybe a picnic. It's going to be in a park near her house. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, I'm looking forward to meeting Tara. Well, I've met her once already, but meeting Mike, I have never met her husband, Mike. And I met Ellie with Tara in Pennsylvania before, but I haven't met the other kids, the boys. All right. Trying not to get up in your face with reading these things. Hello, everyone in chat. Says Blind Mama. 78 here today. It's probably about 52 right now. It was 49 when I first came out. Peonies are slow growing. So fab. My mother had a peony bush, and it wasn't a tree peony like mine. It was a regular peony bush, and she loved that thing. Well, if my father didn't mow that thing down like 50 times over the life of us living in that house, he was forever mowing it over, and she was forever having a fit. So that's what I remember about my mom's pretty peony. My daddy always mowing it down, and mommy saying, "Why can't you remember? That's my peony." The sun, what is that? Says Bee Lady. Yeah, it's hiding behind a cloud again now. I want to go to the Living on a Dime meetup. Now, where do you live, PC? Bandana Gramma. I'm in the 68 Club September 21st. 60 is the new 40. I keep telling myself that anyway. Picnic too. I think so because we're meeting up at a park. So, I mean, maybe I'm over speaking myself here, but I think we're probably going to do picnic food or something if we're going to a park. That would be fun. Trying to talk Patrick into taking a road trip to Colorado. Yeah, we are flying out, and the plan was to drive back. And I was on uh, car rental sites today, this morning, to figure out what we'd have to spend to rent a car for a week because we want to take our time driving back to Maryland. Golly, it was a lot more expensive than I thought. The totals I'm looking at are like $1,400 for economy cars for 1 week, and that's before tolls and gas. So we wanted to drive back because we wanted to see the countryside, which was part of the reason for going out west. We've never been west, so we got to think that one through and see if we may end up. We know we need a new car, which is why we're not driving our own car out there. Plus, my husband isn't real hep about driving all that distance both ways himself. He's going to be 70 soon, and it's not easy to drive all that distance. So we got some decisions to make on what to do and the finances of it all. I love your welcome sign. I'm a lighthouse lover. What are pajama plants? I don't know who you're talking to. I guess I missed that. Bye, Angela. Oh, pajama pants. Gotcha. Praise God. I do get to work from home and wear pajama pants. I'm fairly convinced that pajama pants give you superpowers. I agree with you, Angela. I was a medical transcriptionist from home for many years while I was raising my kids. And there are many times I did my work in my PJs. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. I'm going to skip spring, go right to summer. It's going to skip spring. All right. PC thinks it's 12 hours from where we live. You can do it. I'd love to meet you. I just heard about Groupon. Do they have rental car or flight deals? I don't know. I could check that. Pajama pants rolling on the floor laughing. Yeah. Don't know about pajama plants. Never heard of those either. Maybe they look like flannel. like like the lamb's ear, fuzzy lamb's ear. I agree. I get to work from home doing medical coding. Yeah, medical coding has hung on. I was a transcriptionist for 10 years with the local hospital, 9 years from home, and then they asked me as the senior transcriptionist to come in and man the office for a year and be the liaison between the doctors and the transcriptionist and to divvy the work out and also to be the problem solver when there was corrections to be made and stuff. And I love that job. My kids were in school and I could work at the hospital and I got paid well for it then. Because when you work from home as a medical transcriptionist, they pay you by the line. 8 cents a line was what I was making. And to make some money, you had to fly. And you're transcribing from earphones, and the doctors are talking. Well, a lot of those doctors talk like they write. You can barely understand them. And you don't get paid for listening over and over and over or for looking words up or calling and asking a question. You only get paid by the line you type. So it was a tough job. I worked, you know, 10 hours a day easy. It was tough. And when I went in the office, I loved that because it was 9 to 5 and I was out, or 8 to 4 or whatever I did. Yeah, that was better. Okay, let me see if I can finish up these comments so I don't keep you here too long. Hear the birds? They're out front too. Home care jobs are huge and will be great job opportunities for a long time. Yeah, oh, and what I was going to tell you was the transcriptionists all got farmed out. They farmed the work out to another organization that did it, and we all got laid off. So I was at an age then, I decided to retire. You better get your thumbs up or Grandma's going to whack the Grizz. Yeah, well, Grizz has been very good to me. I know how Grizz can get, and he's been very respectful to me, and I appreciate that because it shows he's got a kind heart, and yeah, I appreciate that, Grizz. Let's see. And for what they cost, I'm thinking the rate of pay must be pretty good. I guess I missed part of that. If they farmed out to a Genpack, a company out of India, I used to do medical transcription as well. No, they farmed out to a domestic company. They talked about going to India, but then they didn't. And then I got a call from somebody I used to transcribe with who is now an uppity up in one of those companies that does send out transcription to India. And she asked me if I would come on as a supervisor. I was pretty good at what I did. So she asked me if I'd come on as a supervisor, but I told her I didn't feel right because I wanted the American people to have the American jobs. And while I know people in India need the work, yeah, we were all laid off so they could farm the work out to other people who would work for less money, even though it was in America. And they told us they'd take us on. This is way off subject. I'll get off it. But there were so many transcribers you couldn't get the work. You'd sign on and there'd be no work. So, yeah, I wasn't happy about that. Grandma, I have a reputation to protect. Stop saying them things about me. Okay, Grizz. Grizz is a teddy bear. Grizz is incorrigible, but he also is respectful, and I appreciate that about him. Reputation or not. Grizz is my brother from another mother. Grizz, you're just a teddy bear and you know it. Yeah, all this kitty whacking stuff. Right. Okay. Yep, and notice they are calling back baby boomers work. Let's see, be there. Yep, we noticed they are calling back baby boomers. Work ethic was awesome. Yeah. Grizz rules. Okay, I got back to the end of the comments. I hope I didn't miss yours. So, you saw my gardens, and they're not in the best of shape right now, but I hope you can see with potential. And if this old girl can get her butt moving every day, little by little, I'll be getting it better. I'm going to finish cutting the English ivy off my fence in the back today and clean up some of that back corner. And then I'm going to see, I'm hoping my husband can help me a little bit with spreading the finished compost around. I mean, sometimes if he's in a good mood, he'll help me do so. He's not a gardener. He's not a homesteader. He doesn't go for any, I mean, he'll mow the grass and do all those things that, husbands usually do. But when it comes to my gardens, he thinks I go overboard. Can you imagine that? And so he's not apt to lend too much of a hand. But if I really need him to move wheelbarrows full of compost and things like that, I think he'll help out. He loves me. So 50 years this October we'll be married. So when we come to the Homesteaders of America conference in October, that'll be it'll be a week after our 50th wedding anniversary. So, and I have to admit, he wasn't real thrilled about going to the conference that close to our 50th anniversary, but I told him we'd be celebrating all year, so don't worry about it. Well, I think we might try and fit a cruise, and he'd like to take a cruise. Okay. Yep, all this talk about transcribing and working from home, that is a blessing and a curse. Okay, bee lady's gotta go. She's happy she caught me live. I'm happy you were here, Elizabeth. Everyone have a super duper day. Any friend from Texas, feel free to text me. Oh my goodness. Put your number out there for the world to see, Angela. The bee lady apiary, have a great day. But he can eat those good veggies. Well, he's more of a meat and potatoes guy, but I chop them up in the blender and stick them in his meatloaf, and he does eat them. Amazing 50 years. Yep, 50 years. Uh, I think you've seen my story, Angela, on my faith journey channel, or my faith journey uh, portion of my channel. So you know our story. It wasn't always easy, but we're very thankful to have made it this far and come around. Congratulations on your upcoming wed anniversary. 50 years is great. Grizz, I don't know. You're talking about the love life of roosters and hens there. I'm not quite getting what you're saying. I don't know if I want to. Oh, the hen beat up the rooster, and you're wishing you got it on camera. That's funny. Congratulations, Katie, on 44 years. God bless you, Robin. Okay, I'm signing off now, and maybe I'll be on tomorrow morning. Maybe I won't. I've got a video to make later for Frugal Family Food. They wanted me to make one for the last Friday in April. So I'll probably be doing that today. And I'll see you all later. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out, whether you're here live or whether you're watching this afterward. And I love you all, and thanks for coming by.